Good. Well, it's good afternoon from me, but it's good morning to you, Anna Webb in London. How are you?
Hey, Joanna. Yeah, good morning, good evening. We're good here, thanks.
Look, thank you so much for joining us, Anna. You are the host of a Dog's Life podcast. Your
Yes.
podcast has more than 200 episodes. It is fair to say I'm a fan because I'm also a dog, particularly a rescue dog owner. So I definitely resonate, and one of the reasons I reached out to you. What do we need to know about your podcast, Anna?
What do you need to know? Well, it was like a project through lockdown that just we launched before lockdown, and who knew what was happening with that. So basically it just kind of developed and developed using Zoom, which was all new then. So I ended up talking to some amazing experts and world-class scientists globally, which previously, if you'd had to go and meet them and do it in person, we'd never have done it. So I was zooming off to California, Australia, Scandinavia all the time. So yeah, so A Dog's Life's all about my personal journey really with dogs. And it's talking to a lot of the people that have influenced me through my lifetime basically with dogs, and my deep interest in dogs that I've had since a child. I was going to Crufts with my auntie when I was 8 years old. This was my annual great thing, before the internet, when it was my big thing every year. So I was fascinated with dog breeds as a child, and all my art projects and creative writing work I had to do, it was all dog centric. And so that just led progressively to channeling my psychology degree into behavior, animal behavior, and as well as human behavior, really. That was a long time ago. And then more recently, studying in Australia on the internet with the College of Integrated Veterinary Therapies with the
Yeah.
amazing Dr. Barbara Fougere. So that was the first ever natural course that was available to do with, again, amazing experts and scientists and vets, global. So that changed my life quite a bit. That was way back in 2012. And then subsequently, just trying to help people with their dogs get the best life possible, work naturally to enhance their lives, and health really, through diet and alternative complementary ways to do it, which I know is big in Australia. I think it's
Yes.
bigger in Australia than it is here still. It's coming though at last, but it's been slow in the UK.
Yeah. And Anna, like your podcast has been described that across the board, you explore everything around dogs and certain animals. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your background? Because you've had this career in the media as well. You know your stuff. So what do we need to know about Anna as the host?
Well, so I landed in the media really a bit with my psychology degree, having left Oxford Poly many, many years ago. Okay. And that was before dog ownership really exploded. We're
Yeah.
talking, this was 1987. And yeah, and I do love the media. It's just a great kind of fun area to be. So where I am with the media is at the moment is a spokesperson, obviously, for certain issues when there's topical discussions in the media, lately about the XL bully, for example, or vegan dog food is another one I've talked a lot about, or, can you actually not use flea treatments, these sort of conversations that can end up in the media. Then I'll, do my bit and talk about it and represent my case. And that's all really great. Lots of issues. I mean, dogs are so in the news now, what with dog friendly workplaces. I mean, really, living with dogs has totally changed, even since 2002, when I brought my first miniature bull terrier into my life as a grown-up, on my own with me and Molly, Molly and me. And it's changed so much. It's just remarkable. I'm not sure it's all great. And now we've got all the aspects of technology weaving in with dogs as well, and a whole load of apps and all the rest of it. And we can't lose sight of the fact that a dog is a dog. They're definitely not little people in a furry suit, which is something I say a lot in the media. But yes, it led to basically chance meeting really with Joe Good of the BBC led to us launching the only dog slot on the BBC globally, actually, I think now, called Barking at the Moon, which still airs today, almost 15 years later, every week.
Wow.
I know, which is great fun, to be honest. And you know, it really pulls in listeners, so it's kind of a no-brainer. But at the time, back in 2010, it was considered completely bonkers. What a dog slot, have you gone completely mad? What are you going to talk about? You know, what do you, but you know, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and there still is and always will be. So yeah, that's about it, really.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I even know in Australia we have two major dog shows, you know, on commercial prime time each week, you know, so there's plenty of people consuming, you know, dogs and animals and behavior and rescue and all that sort of stuff. It's brilliant. And we even get UK shows here about and US shows about it's incredible.
Yeah, I know. I think Victoria Stilwell. Well, actually, I think the dog father, Graham. Yes,
Yeah, he has a show too. Yeah,
he has. It's all like he's gone down under. But
yeah,
that's the whole point. So really, in a way, go back to my podcast. It covers all of these issues, but through listening, obviously, because that's what a podcast is.
yes,
And I think, you know, with my radio experience, I really love listening. I love listening to the radio myself. I learn so much by listening. I don't really have that much time available to kind of watch or dip into TV shows on a weekly basis. Something will crop up, I'll miss something. I know there's like catch up, but you know, but I like moving around and doing things. I like multitasking the whole time, so you can do that with listening. So you can also type on your laptop or whatever, you know. So I think that's what I try to do. And we cover, as you say, the historical side of dogs, because I do worry at the moment that a lot of people don't know so many great things. So my latest episode, you wouldn't believe it, actually must speak to him, actually, Joanna. His name's Dr. Paul Koudounaris, and he's traveled the world. He's even been to Australia to look at pet cemeteries and how they basically tell us so much about ourselves and our history and relationships with dogs that has changed through time. Absolutely. He's so funny as well. I really enjoyed that episode, so you could tune into that, you know, because we stream on all platforms. And it just keeps rolling, and it seems to stay fresh, you know. So Pet Cemeteries was this week. Coming up next Sunday, I'm talking to one of the big wigs at the Royal Vet College about recent research that proves that the designer crossbreeds, so your Labradoodles and your Cockapoos, they are no healthier than the pedigree counterparts.
Wow.
I know, because that's how they've been marketed. You know, they're going to be healthy, they've got hybrid vigor, and so on and so forth. When in fact, actually, the evidence is now clear. It's not entirely as clear cut as people maybe thought. So there you go. So we try and keep up with things as well, and try and be a bit edgy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think you introduce so many great topics, great guests. You know, I'd encourage people to go back through your vaults, you know, of episodes, because there's so much great stuff and obviously new stuff coming up. So you mentioned, you know, you're on all the streaming platforms. Anna, what if we're curious about you? I'll put this in the show notes. Do you have a website? How do we follow Anna?
Yeah, I've got a website. It's just annaweb with 2 B's.co.uk. And then I'm on Instagram. So that's Anna Webb Dogs, and LinkedIn and Twitter. I'm on TikTok, but I haven't quite got there yet. I find it a bit of a scary zone. Have you done TikTok, Joanna?
Oh, look, there's a few here and there. It's not my joy space. But you know, people are watching, so you know, I keep trying. But yeah, look, no, Anna, you keep on TikToking. I'll stick to my lanes.
But I think the thing is about me, if you want to sort of learn about wellness for your dog, you know, because it's not just about training, it's not just about diet, it's about quite a lot of complex issues, you know, and understanding dogs as sentient beings. That's where I'm really at. So, and I've got the experience. I mean, you know, I've lived with dogs all my life, basically, and you know, as a grown up, brought Moles in 2002, and in a way I was proud of that moment, because I've seen and experienced this massive shift
Yes.
which has good and not so good issues to it. So and this joy of dogs, you know, I mean, I do believe dogs do make us human. So anyway, let's think on that. But yeah, Joanna, I know you've got a rescue as well.
I do, and I sent you a photo because my rescue, we don't even know what breed my rescue, he was a rescue pup, you know, it came at about 16 weeks. And people just take a guess of what breed he is. But like I said to you when I sent a photo, I said he has just brought so much joy to our lives. Like it's incredible. Like he rescued us as a family. It's unbelievable. So it's
Yeah, they do this, you know, they just have that ability, and you know, that's the thing. But
yeah.
listen, yeah, I'd love you to come on A Dog's Life and talk about him. I've forgotten his name.
Arnold. So I
Arnold,
will
Arnold
definitely come and talk. I'd
Schwarzenegger.
love to because he's a wonderful dog, and he's like the extra human in the family. It's great. I'm sure we can tee that up, Anna. And I can't go without acknowledging you are also a cat lover, because we know there's been a cat walking around, and I know from
Yeah.
previously talking to you there's other cats. So you're just an animal lover in general.
Yeah, I think, you know, lots of people say, oh gosh, I'm a dog lover, I don't do cats. I mean, I just think that's ridiculous. You either love all animals, you know, and understand their differences. Yes, long story. This he's so funny with Zoom. This is Baggy, who's a stray feral tomcat that moved in a year ago, literally about that. It's our anniversary time, after my dear amazing cat sadly died
Oh,
from poisoning. I know, which just absolutely, you know, it's like, so, you know, he just turned up on my doorstep in a very bad way, and all the rescues had a 3-month waiting list because, of course, there's so much over abandonment going on. I'm sure it's the same in
same.
Australia.
Yes.
Really bad. So there was no room anywhere. So I had no choice but to keep him and brought him back to health. And yeah, I'm quite proud of the fact he's still got his testicles.
Yeah.
Yay. Oh,
There
there he
he is.
is. Hello.
Oh.
Look. Oh,
But
what's that?
Anna, you're just a wonderful, human who loves animals, and I think it shows. I think it shows in the way you talk on your podcast, and you share with the guests. So thank you so much for joining us here at Yellow Shelf.
No, I'm honoured to be on the Yellow Shelf. That's why I wore orange today.
I absolutely love
Joanna,
it. I'm sure we can find another reason to talk again, Anna. It's been
yeah, let's
wonderful.
do it. Let's do it. And I'd love you to come on A Dog's Life. So let's
Let's
get
let's
liaising
tee
with
that
our
up.
diaries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
tee it
worries.
up.
Anna, thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.